Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to Dominar Radio. Hello, how are you? Our wonderful co-host. How you doing today? That is you. Oh my gosh, she got.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
How are you?
I almost had a fit there for a second. I'm like, what's happened?
How are you? How are you doing?
How am I doing?
Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone locked in on Double Nine Radio.
Fantastic.
I am Asia E. Jones.
It's-
Always with an E.
Yes.
Never just a joke.
You know, the one and only Asia E. Jones. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. If you have brothers, if you have sisters, uncles, aunties, you know, I want to get them to lock in now. Get them to get on this radio now because it's about to get so exciting in
That's
here.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Because I've
we're
got
about
the
to
one
have
and
some
only
real talk.
Asia E. Jones coming through on the 35 and social. All rules
Yeah,
broken.
yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Welcome, Asia. How are you today, though?
I'm fabulous. I'm groovy. What can I say? I'm feeling lit. I'm
Fantastic.
excited today.
Fantastic. I'm glad to have you on the show. You know,
Yeah, glad to be here.
fantastic. You know, I know you. You know, you're an exciting person. You got that energy always flowing in you, 24/7. You know, no time for.
You know how we do. You know how we do.
Exactly, you know how we do. So I'm feeling that energy. I need to match that energy this evening as well. I'm looking forward to it anyway. So, I mean,
Okay.
I just give a bit of background. You know, 35 and social. We always talk about mature dating, looking around what dating is, and what expectations are. You know, for individuals who are dating or on the dating scene and look for that partner. But ladies and gentlemen, I spoke to Asia about this, and Asia looked at me and said, "Nah, double nine, mate. You know, the rules are meant to be broken. The rules are probably not the right way. People just, you know, follow these rules, and some people don't actually get what they want." And I'm like, "Asia, you serious?"
Yep.
She was like, "Yeah, man."
Yep.
I was like, "You know what? We need to share this with our listeners." So I got Asia on, and we're going to be talking about no rules on the dating scene. But I'm going to be kind of like there's no script here today. We said, no, we don't want no script to this show today. We're just going to go blasé, you know, a bit pragmatic,
freestyle.
you know, and just
Yeah, baby.
yeah, man, and give, you know, your participation as well. You know, callers, as I mentioned earlier, you can call in on 074 956 36899, 074 956 386 368899. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long day. 074 956 36899. So, if you're shy, you can tell us a WhatsApp or send us a text. But ideally, I want you to call in. Okay, Asia, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Yeah, I mean, let's put a definition to what dating is. What do you think dating is from your perspective?
Dating. So, I think the thing I would say about dating is that, first of all, let's be clear. When you're dating in your 20s and you're dating in your 30s and then in your 40s, they're different. The rules are different. Okay, the way you do it is different. Particularly when you're making the switch from your 20s into your 30s. You know, 30s into 40s, maybe not so much of a change, but the way you date is completely different. And I think sometimes we make the mistake of trying to do things the way we've always done them. And we never stop and wonder, well, why isn't it working? It never worked before. Why is it not, you know, that's probably why it's not working now. You keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Okay. So dating in the 20s, dating in the 30s, dating in the 40s, it's a whole different ball game. So it shouldn't be
different.
It shouldn't be like, you know, the same rules should have wouldn't apply on those different levels.
No, and when I say date, though, it's different. I mean on all levels. Even the kind of guy you're looking for is different. What they need to have, like in terms of the spec, they need to have. When I say spec, I'm talking whether it's on in terms of personality or whatever. What you're looking for, because you're changing, you're maturing, you know, yourself. So your needs are different. Some of us become more spiritual as we get older. So we're looking for somebody who's more spiritually grounded as opposed to when someone who's throwing their oats in their 20s. Do you understand what I mean? So it's a little bit kind of different. Also, particularly us women, you know, it's fair to say women mature a lot faster than guys. So we tend to, because women kind of mature faster and the struggle is often more real in terms of, the challenges out there professionally, all of those kind of things, children and all of that, we end up really wanting to somebody that will be that real support. Do you understand? Somebody that would, you want somebody that you're not necessarily carrying them.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But they're also propping you up,
Yeah.
Which is, whereas when you're dating in your 20s, you're you're a single person living your life. He's living his life. You're not always thinking about, well, what can he do for me necessarily if he's in his 20s? You understand?
Yeah.
You're both thinking about how you're doing your own thing.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
But when you're in your 30s and you're sitting, even on your first date, when you're sitting across the room, looking at this girl, looking at this guy, you're thinking about, where does she fit in my life? Is she a wham-bam, thank you, ma'am? Is she friends with benefits? Is she the one I'm going to take home to my mom? Is she the one that will give me... You understand? You're playing different roles in your head.
Okay.
As to whether or not...
Fantastic.
I
really want us to get into that as well. But before we do, I want to know, if we look at the dating scene in London, because, from past guests I've had on the show, so normally I have people on the show who are single, who come around and share their experiences around the dating scene and, relationships they've had. So we always talk about questions around, what the dating scene in London is, because most of them are from London. And, I've had people from different countries, but the majority has been from London. And what you hear back from them is, the dating scene in London is dead. It's so corrupt. A lot of people are not actually out there to date. A lot of people are there just to hook up and just do things. So that's a high percentage of responses I get. Although I would get responses such that yes, you're right, yes, you can still meet a decent person, decent female, just say male. But you get to hear a lot of feedback saying that the dating scene in London is almost non-existent because people are now looking for different things. And I kind of pick on your point you made where you said people dating within the 20s kind of have different priorities on who their partners. They're not actually thinking as far ahead as ladies who'll be thinking, is he going to be compatible with me on the long term? Is he going to be able to support me? So with that, what they're not doing right? Why is the dating scene in London dying?
Okay, so let me put it to you this way, okay? You can only speak about where you live or where you're from and all that kind of stuff. If I'm from London and I go to New York and I'm out and about, everything is still live because I'm not from New York. But you speak to somebody in New York who lives there, they'll be like, nah, dating in New York is dead. Do you understand? So wherever you are, that's where you live. So of course it's going to feel like it's a bit dead and it's a bit not much happening. I don't think there's anywhere you go and you speak to the locals there and they'll be like, yeah, man, they might have not dating scenes. They might have scenes that are good and happening and hype, but they're not dating scenes. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
They might have one or two places but not everywhere is jumping all the time. So when people say that they dating scenes in London, and we'll go to Manchester then. It might seem fresh to you if you go there. Go to Birmingham, go to Liverpool. But of course, when you're from London, because you've seen it all, done it all, do you understand? Especially when you're of a certain age, you can't go to the same places that you used to go to pick up girls or guys probably don't even exist anymore because the turnaround for those kind of places are they turn around quite quickly. Then let's not even talk about what COVID is doing to people out here trying to date. Do you understand? So that even caused things to be a bit more crazy. But I think what we need to do is when you're a single person and you want to date, the first thing I'll say to you is don't be going out there like, I'm looking for a man. Do you understand what I mean? I'm not sure how it is with guys, but as a girl, even if you are looking, even if that's what you want, you cannot be a desperate woman. You can't be out there acting like this is all I want because you won't find it. And every night, instead of you going out enjoying yourself or day or whatever, instead of you finding things socially that you can do that you enjoy, you start thinking about, you start trying to plan where to go. You start thinking about where do I go and find those guys. And then when nothing comes out of it, you feel disappointed. The main thing, single life is, when you're single, enjoy being single, enjoy dating, enjoy the process of just being out there. Because when you find that person, they usually just fall on your lap. It's not because you went out that day, I was looking for someone and I found him, and it doesn't always necessarily work out. You have to, part of dating is also enjoying that process for a single person.
Okay,
it's part of your...
Yeah, I want to jump on that if I forget. You mentioned enjoying, dating scene. I think that word can be misunderstood, because I've asked questions around, what do you think about dating multiple partners? So, the reason I actually asked about what your perception or what your thoughts about, how would you would define what dating was because I just wanted to understand, where your mind was at. Because when I ask people what is dating, some of them would say dating would be things of, going out for a meal, getting to know each other, and things like that. Then I'll just kind of like insert questions around, would you date multiple partners? Just to kind of get a reaction of what their mindset is. I've had, men or women would say, yes, if the sex thing does happen, yes, it's fine. So when you say enjoy yourself, are we breaking the rule of, this is all rules broken? Are we breaking the rule of, the dating norm?
Okay, so let me probably ask you a little bit of a background to myself. Okay? So, because we're talking about 35 plus and dating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was 30, I was single for a very long time. I got married. I'm just over 3 years into my marriage now. I got married in my 40s. Okay, and so for pretty much my whole of my 30s, I was dating. Now I decided at some point that because I've been dating 20s, I've been boyfriend here, there, I decided I was going to abstain from sex. Okay. So before I got married, I had abstained from sex for 8 years. All right.
Wow, 8 years. Now, Asia, my word. That.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Don't tell nobody that.
Oh my God.
So, and it was a decision I made, and I tell you why I made the decision, because I realized that sex was clouding my judgment.
Okay.
During while I was having relationships and stuff like that. So it was one thing I just wanted to get out of the way, because I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to build a friendship. And then I wanted to know that if it didn't work out, I haven't given away my virtue. Right? That was the thing for me. That was the main thing. So what happened was I started, so I think it was around that 35 mark as well. I made this decision. Okay, needless to say, the first time I made the decision, I broke it very quickly because I wasn't set up, for that. Just understand?
Yeah.
So the next relationship I was in, when I started seeing another guy, I was like abstinence, straight abstinence. Now, what happened to me during that period? Yes.
Wow.
Now, that relationship didn't last long because I wasn't having sex.
Yeah.
Let me point that out. So what happened was I was getting more dumped. I never been dumped more than when I was in my mid-30s, trying to have a relationship, not having sex. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because there was guys who were like, you're not having sex, you're not a virgin. I'm like, to you I am,
Yeah.
To you I am,
Yeah.
So it was like that. So sex was a big part that, that people couldn't deal with. Then you had the ones that were like, okay, it was a challenge for them. They wanted to ride with it and see, let's see how. Then there was a group of guys that think they can sway you, they can change your mind. Do you understand? And those ones are the dangerous ones because they usually tick all the other boxes. So ladies, take note, yeah? They usually tick all the other boxes and then they're like, oh, but this one thing. And there were times I felt like, oh my God, am I doing myself a disservice here? Do you understand?
Yeah.
These guys could be good guys. They're walking away and all of that. But you know what? What I noticed that was different to when I would have sex in other relationships was that I got over them very quickly.
Okay.
I got over them quick. Listen, there was no heartbreak. There was no crying. I got over them quick. Why? And I realized that the only thing that was different was I wasn't having sex with them. Okay?
Yeah.
I wasn't having sex with them. And I got over that very quickly. And then I got into, and that made me so good. That made me, the feeling that gives you, I can't even tell you. So during that dating process, to answer your question about multiple dating, okay, I was, during the process of getting to know people, I would see more than one person. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But don't forget, I'd abstain from sex.
Exactly.
So abstinence from sex also meant that, like there was certain, the physical touch love language was something that I wasn't using a lot. Okay? Reason is because some guys get turned on. Some guys get turned on a lot by the fact that, by just touching your hands. So you need to be also very careful about stuff like that. So I had to make sure that I was in a position where I was in a position where I wasn't completely...
A little bit control.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Whatever it is that was going on, So, so for me, when I was dating those guys, they knew because it was dating. So for me, the dating part of it is I'm not committed to anybody. I'm going out. I'm meeting guys. Some of those guys ended up just being friends in the end. They ended up just being friends that I even have today. Whether you date one, I'm not saying go out and date multiple guys, and I didn't do that all the time because the fact of the matter is there's not that many people out there. There wasn't that many people for me as I felt that options to pick from. Do you understand? But I enjoy dating. I enjoy going out. And what it also meant, it freed me of the thing of, taking a guy back to my house or me going back to his house. No, we looked for other ways. I had to look for other ways to keep things going. So it was like, I don't know, picnic in the park. It was like just different things to really try and enjoy that process.
Okay, I understand that aspect that I enjoy now. But I'm thinking to myself now, okay, because you've broken a rule now. This is one of the rules, because one of the rules would be, not abstaining, not in your mind, because most people, when they're dating, so there's a level of expectation that, yes, it might happen. So we've broken that rule of abstaining, this is it. You don't, don't expect that you might have sex. Don't expect it might happen. So that's one of the rules we're broken today. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you say abstain. But the other things, around dating is when people are dating and they feel this connection is going on, I'm thinking to myself, what should I do? What should I don't do? Do you know what I mean? When do I know that, yes, this is it? When do I give give it up? But what are the do's? What should I be doing with this in this situation? Should I allow him to kiss me?
Okay.
Should I allow her to kiss me? Because these are the things around dating. And when we say we're dating multiple partners as well, what are the barriers in place? What are the restrictions of saying you've gone too far?
So for me, when you're dating multiple people, okay, so I can only speak from my experience. Yeah. So there was no, I like this one more than this one, so I'll sleep with this one. No. No one was getting nothing. Okay, and the reason also was, for me, I was working towards marriage. I was looking for someone to get married to. Okay, so I was looking for those kind of qualities in a man. I wasn't just dating for dating's sake. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm dating for a purpose.
You're dating for a purpose, yeah.
And don't be afraid to say, you want to date. You're dating for a purpose. It's all right to date for a purpose, but you just have to let that dating process also go through. Don't be because you want to marry a guy. You're looking at him, expecting him to give you a ring today, expecting him, no. Don't be clock watching, because you want to marry. You still have to go through the process of getting to know each other. You cannot fast track that bit. And that's a mistake sometimes, like people make. Now, when I can't speak for people who, I don't subscribe to sleeping with multiple partners, because I don't know why are you even trying to say yourself like that? I don't even know. But hey, I'm not judging. Okay. But I don't subscribe to that. So I wouldn't go, because I think in the end, you will complicate yourself. You're compromising yourself, and and most of the time, when you're doing that hoping that it will lead to something. Do you understand? And that's not how that's not how you
hit the nail on the head
yourself.
Because because I'm not saying everyone does this, but people sometimes go into put themselves in certain situations, assuming that yes, once they do this, it would happen. And also, just to kind of like bring a different tangent to this. With the current dating scene now, you have a lot of people kind of like accepting gifts around, during the that dating period. And sometimes the male species, when they give you a gift, in some aspects, they expect, certain actions to be reciprocated. How do you handle that kind of situation? To break away from the norm of the expectation.
Right. Okay. So you know what? If you're giving me a gift and you're expecting something from me, well, more for you than in it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
More for you than how dare you expect something? What am I? I ain't no call girl. What makes you think you give me some? This ain't no trade by backer. But you give me something, I give you something back. Listen, that's on you. Okay. So because you're dating a woman, I'm thinking now as someone in 35. I'm not talking about in their 20s.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you're dating somebody who's coming into her own, who realizes I am a queen. Do you understand? She's achieved a certain amount of success in her life.
Asia, sorry, darling. I just remember one of the stories of a lady that came on the show. So this is what it was. So there was this guy, that they were dating, and it was her birthday. So he said, let me take you out, to your birthday dinner and club or something. And she was like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to bring my friend along. And it was like, okay, yes, that's fine.
Oh.
So they now go out to a restaurant. After the restaurant, they went to a club. And then at the end of the night, then the guy was like, yes, so where are we going? Let's go back to, I booked at a hotel. We should all go. Come with your friends so we can do a threesome. So, I mean... That was quite shocking when this was a guest on the show that mentioned this within the dating scene as well. So that's where that expectation of, he's done all this, so she must give up the goods at the end of the night.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's nothing. Dating is not the problem there. The problem then is the guy and what she was looking for, the guy she chose. Do you understand? The issue sometimes is not about dating. When you go, listen, I remember when there was a time I even attempted online dating, and to be quite honest, I enjoyed the process of elimination more than I enjoyed actually dating. I went on 1 or 2 dates. There was one guy that I went on a date with. He was an atheist. He wore leather pants. And I just thought, what the hell? I remember sitting there thinking, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because I'm a traditional kind of girl in terms of how I date. So I don't date so I knew online dating wasn't for me, but, it was a thing everyone was trying out for, why not, and all of that. So, yeah, you will just look, whatever you're looking for, is what you're going to find. That's what you've got to understand, okay? There are ladies who go on, look, that's why places say there's somewhere for everyone. Tinder's there. There are people who say, looking for someone for tonight, someone to kick it back and have fun with tonight. There's somebody looking for that person. That person who's looking for that soul person, there's also somebody looking for them. And they will match up. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Same way there's somebody out there saying, you know what, I'm done with dating. I'm just looking for a wife. Or I'm looking for a husband. There's somebody out there for you too. You see what I mean? So there's somebody out there for whatever it is that you're looking for. What you need to do is whatever God, because I'm a Christian and I believe that whatever God you serve, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, or whether you believe in just putting things into the universe, put it out there into the universe. That's what will come back to you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But do not sit there and let somebody, when I decided to abstain, I wasn't in a relationship. This wasn't about the guy. This wasn't about me. The other thing I decided I was going to do, from day one of dating my husband, we were in counseling. I'm not talking marriage counseling, I'm talking relationship counseling. Wow. That was the only relationship I'd ever gone into where I made counseling from the jump a requirement. Because when I met him, he said to me, you know, he wants to marry me. I'm like, okay, good for you. I wasn't sure whether he was the one for me.
As soon as he met you, he said, I want to marry you.
He knew, yeah. He knew he wanted to marry me. Okay.
We'll come back to that. Karen, yeah.
So now, so I now said, okay, but, you know, that was all great. Now, I knew I was looking. I didn't think he was in. I knew I wanted somebody to marry as well. So, but here I am with this guy. Okay, we're on the same page as to the fact that we both want marriage. The question now is, do we want marriage with each other? Do you understand? Because he wants marriage regardless of whether it's me or not. I want marriage regardless. So now the question is, how do we flow together? Does this fit? So counseling helped us with that. So we didn't have a honeymoon period. That's another thing that people get on my nose with. That honeymoon period. Honeymoon. Forget honeymoon period. Because all honeymoon period is you two lying to each other about what, you know, all of you, everybody's wearing a mask, putting their best foot forward. No. I never had a honeymoon period with the person I married. Because immediately, counseling brings up a lot of stuff to the surface. But the one thing that was clear for us is we were trying to figure out whether or not we were for each other. And what was also important to both of us was that if it turns out that the relationship didn't work out, we have not damaged each other for the next person. That's another thing we don't think about.
That's amazing.
So if we were to break up and we didn't go ahead with each other, at least we know that you've not damaged me, I haven't damaged you. So no other woman will be picking up your mess, some other woman's mess, and I won't be picking up some other guys. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, how do you get to that stage? You know, because now in the dating scene, as you mentioned earlier, a guy can just come, you know, I want to marry you. Or a lady can just say to you, you're the one for me. But maybe they just see something in you. Maybe you got money. Or maybe you got a good job. Maybe you got a house. Maybe they have a need that you can provide for at that point in time. And they come to you.
This is why I say, just because somebody wants marriage doesn't mean you skip dating. And sometimes women, we are desperate. You understand? We are desperate, and we want to, we've already bought the house, we've painted the door, we've got our address, and all this kind of stuff, forgetting that we don't know this dude here that's saying he wants to marry me. You understand? I don't know what he's doing. He might be a madman. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What's his family saying? I want to know. Because my husband, we checked each other's family out as well. I want to know what spiritual, whatever's going on in your family, what spiritual is going on. I don't want to, and then because whatever you marry, you inherit. You can't turn around. So if you marry somebody who's in debt, you know, it don't matter that you didn't know it was in debt before. It's your debt now.
It's your debt
now. You understand?
Isn't it? Yeah.
If you marry somebody who's a sex addict, well, it's your problem now. So you need to, if you marry someone who's a drug addict, well, you're in it now. You've entered. So, you know, you're just going to have to make it work. You know, because marriage is not hard. Marriage the process for it is just different to when you're doing, you understand?
Yeah.
So if you know that you're dating because you want to get married and all of that, be clear on what it is you're looking for. Trust your instinct. You understand? And if your instinct is a desperate kind of instinct, trust somebody else's instinct. Don't trust your instinct. Because if you're one of those people that, I met him today, he took me out, and don't base it, please.
I mean, you see, that you took me out, but that's a very important thing, because on the first, you know, there's a question I always ask as well, say, you know, what expectations on a first date? You know, I've had crazy responses on that. You know, I've had women, you know, ladies say, he must take me to a 5-star restaurant, a 4-star restaurant, he must do this, he must do that. Do you know what I mean? You know, and that, I think, again, would cloud the judgment. You know, this is
what I think. Okay, let me give you my advice on that one. Yeah? Let me give you, and I think a mature woman in her 30s I would hope, will not say you need to do this, you need to do that. Let's be clear, okay? And this goes to the men as well. Let people come as they are. When you meet someone, let them come as they are. If they want to take you to KFC for your first, let them take you. Go with the process. Watch this person. They might be testing you. You don't know. You might be testing. You want them to show you themselves. Don't be trying to don't be on the first day opening up yourself, laying all your cards of what your expectation is. Yes, you can have conversation and flow about the things you like, the things you don't like, but don't be saying, we all have those days where, we'll be talking about, we'll be giving responses to the person we're dating because we're sending them a message. Do you understand? Our responses is basically sending them a message to say that. So, like, I'll give you an example of what I mean. Like, I'll be like, look, listen, I don't, if the man has to open the door for me, he has to, I don't care who the man. Say a man has to buy me flowers every week. That's what I expect. Where basically, you're not saying it because it's what you're saying it because you want him to do that.
Yeah.
You're sending him a message. You understand what I mean? Well, you know good and well your ass. You know good and well your ass don't get no flowers every week.
Yeah.
That man you were dating will not opening those doors to you. Okay? If it's what you would like, have real conversations. You understand? Just, if it's what makes you like, one of the things I love. I remember when my husband stopped opening the car doors for me. I remember telling him that, what? No, not opening the car. I remember, like, when I would come home, my husband would open the front door and wait for me.
Amazing.
And then after a point, I noticed he stopped doing it. I noticed he stopped doing it. And I remember saying to him one time, babe, one of the things that I miss is that I used to love when I would step out of the car and I would look and you were at the front door because you've seen me coming, and he didn't even know that I noticed that. He didn't even know I like stuff like that. Do you understand what I mean? He didn't even know, and once he realized that, is that you really noticed that? He started doing it. He started doing it again because it was something that I really missed, And I think when you're on a date with a guy, let's stop putting up appearances. Okay, let's stop or girl. Let's stop putting up appearances.
Yeah.
Let get to know each other. Let him take you where if he asks you, where would you like to go, whatever. Don't try and go somewhere that is good and well you yourself can't pay for. Do you understand? Don't try and do that.
Preach, mate.
No, I'm being honest. You understand? Don't try and be like, hey, I'm going to get to the INA and this and that. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You haven't earned the ID, not with this one.
I know. I think.
You understand? And I feel that what you should do, guys, however you want to do this, I just think when a guy takes me on a date, I'll let him take me to, I will watch him. I will watch everything he's doing because I'm taking note to see. I'll do what I don't pick up on the first day, I'll learn on the second. I'll learn on the third. Do you understand? Some people might not get past the first day. Maybe there's just enough there that I'm like, it's just the energy, the connection is just not there. The conversation is not just not. So I won't put myself through it again.
Yeah.
Well, let them, don't be too picky. Don't be too whatever.
I think it's social media.
Because you want to get to know this person.
Social media is one of the problems.
People were doing it before social media.
I know.
People were being like that before social media.
Social media has kind of given it a bit more of like, the norm. Wants to make it the norm. Because when I ask questions again about, what effects of social media had on the dating scene, yes, men would say, sometimes the lady that we see on social media is not the one we see in real life. Okay. But for women, it'll be like, yes, social media is really good. It helps you to, like, know what the guy, is doing, know what it look like. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like they want to see.
But when you say what they see in social media is not what is in real life, are they talking about what they've airbrushed the pictures? What
things like that. Things like that. Do you know what I mean? All this filters you have on social media, and also you take a girl out. She's got her phone out. Doing all sorts of Instagram things. Taking the pictures of the food, all that.
And that's good. And you know what? Do you know what? That's why you watch the person. This is all, you're getting to know the person. You can't blame social. Listen, social media has been around for as long as it's been around. There are people who don't use it. There are people who are not slaves to it. There are people who don't use it to determine whether they have relationships. I know people who, like, they get upset if their husband or boyfriend doesn't post happy birthday on social media. Do you understand? Whereas I'm indifferent. In my life, I don't care. Do you understand? It's not what he does publicly, it's what he does behind closed door I'm interested in.
Preach. Because the thing...
Do you understand? You choose how you want to use social media.
Yeah.
So if you're that person that's letting social media use you, then guy or girl who's dating that person, take note. This is what you're marrying. If you're married to somebody that can't stay without their phone, or dating someone who can't be without their phone, that have to sleep with their phone next to their head, this is who you're marrying. Or this is who you're dating. So take note. There are women out there, I'm sorry, there are people, especially, look, people even do social media fasting now, when they cut off social media just to regroup.
Okay.
Do you understand? So it's up to you what you want to do. You and I, we're in the entertainment stuff. We do radio, but to be quite honest, unless I'm doing something to do with my show or whatever, you will not catch me on there. Most of the time, my posting, I don't even do my posting because I'm too tired. It's too much. I don't live my life through social media, so it's a choice.
It is a choice.
Social media is a tool that I love it because it allows us to be global. It allows us to be global. It opens doors so you can date from anywhere, see from it, do whatever you want to do. But it doesn't have to control you.
Amazing. Okay, on that note, we're going to go for a short break and catch us back on the other side. Trust me, you don't want to miss the other side. What Asia's got for us today. Asia E. Jones with us on Television.
Asia E. Jones.
Today, all rules broken. Stay locked on, stay locked in. It's your host, Double Nine, on Double Nine Radio.
It all depends on why you're dating. Do you understand? If you're out there and you're dating, you want a guy that's got money, and that's what you're dating. Obviously, if he wants to take you for a picnic, you ain't having it. Not unless he's taking you for a picnic on his yacht. Do you understand? Then maybe that's a bit different. So if that's what you want, do you. Do you understand? Okay? If you're dating for marriage, it's important that you are yourself and you create an atmosphere that the guy is also himself. Because you need to know whether or not the way he's being is what you're looking for. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to... So, in terms of rules, like, you make your own rules. Don't let somebody else... Don't let your friend... Another thing, people who still... I don't expect someone in their 30s. You need to know how to filter your friends in terms of what you listen to. Guys and girls. What you listen to from them. Do you understand? Because there's some friends who, if they see that, oh my God, you might be on the track to leaving them and getting married, they might try and say or do things that would jeopardize that because they like you being single. And especially if you're at that age where all your friends are married and you're the only single one. There's some people who like you being, the single friend, the one with the disposable income, because they're all married. You understand what I mean? Even though they're all married, not everyone necessarily wants the same to you. So you've got to be careful. You need to know who your riders are, who's riding with you, who's praying for you, who's wanting you to want those things. Do you understand? Because if I meet a guy and our first date is that we're going jogging in Hyde Park, who's to tell me that's not a date? Who is to tell, and we want to go for a smoothie after? Who's to tell me that's the date that he wants and I want? Maybe we're two people that we're trying to get into a healthier lifestyle. And we were like, oh yeah, let's do that for... Who's to tell me that, he's in his jogging fit, I'm in my sweat? There's a problem with that because you don't think that's how I should date? Nah, mate. Nah, jog on, okay? Don't tell me nothing about what I want to do. You do you. If I want to go and feed the ducks with the guy, yes. That's what I want to do. If that's what the guy wants to do with me and we are in agreement, that's what we're going to do. If we want to do a Michelin-style dinner, whatever, we'll do that too.
Amazing.
You understand?
You make a very, very valid point there, with the peer pressure type thing, with your friends, who you keep around you. Especially, you mentioned, especially if maybe your friends are single or they're not, or they're married, or, do you know what I mean? You have different, maybe sometimes conflicting advice from these individuals. So the best thing to do is do you.
Let me tell you something. I got married in my 40s. Do you think it was everybody that was happy about me getting married? Including the ones who were married. You'd be like, what's your problem? Do you understand? It's not everybody that wanted. Some of them were already married. Listen, people will change. It's almost like if you were the fat friends and you lose weight. Do you understand? Not everybody's going to be comfortable accepting of the fact that they knew you with this new body and this new confidence you got. Do you understand? To me, it wasn't a big deal. I don't know why people were going on like that. But there were people who genuinely were not happy with the fact that I was living the single life. And some of them were married. You know? So what I'm saying to you, just people, every stage of your life, you will drop some people. Those stages in your life will teach you and show you something. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So don't be locked into a situation where, oh, that's my friend from whatever. So that means they can't be possessed by the evil spirit. Nah. Do you understand? That's my whatever. Not everyone is going to ride with you.
Exactly.
Through your journey. So you are at that age, you're grown. You need to start thinking about what you want. Because if what you want ends up being a mistake, do you understand? But at least it's your mistake, you made it, and you can live with it.
Exactly.
Because you made that choice. As opposed to you trying to live with somebody else's mistake.
I mean, not every advice is good advice, you know. There's some ones you
listen.
take
not everyone should even be opening their mouth giving any advice.
True.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
No, not everyone. Listen. I went into counseling with my husband. Do you understand? Before when we were dating. Okay, we dated. By the time we came out that we were getting married, people just knew that we were getting married. You lot don't need to know nothing. There is nothing who's going to tell me about him. There's nothing you can tell me about him. There is absolutely nothing you want to come and tell me about him. Unless I want to ignore it, whatever is there, I know. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I already know. I've seen, unless I want to ignore it and make my you don't worry about that. There ain't nothing you're going to tell me.
I mean, you're right. You're right. But again, looking at the dating scene again and all the guests coming on the show, I mean, this is my reference point. You know, we look at it and, you know, the kind of feedback you get is a lot of people, yes, they will go out with a guy, have a discussion with the girls. Oh, he took me here, he took me there. And maybe one of them will be like, really? Why didn't he take you there? And because of the peer pressure, he or she wants to kind of like, really? So you should have done this, you should have done that. Losing the fact that the person might not even have experienced that with their partner, but just wants to kind of like show that, oh, yes, this is the way it should be. And you see this quite often a lot of times, you know, within the dating scene of London or even beyond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a challenge. It's a challenge where individuals within the dating scene not listen to their own thoughts, not doing you as you pointed it out, Mark, but taking advice from individuals who might not have the best interest of them at heart.
Listen, all I'm saying is when you're dating, it's not everything you share when you're dating. And then when you do share, it's not everyone you share it with. Okay? You've got to think about it. Don't talk too much. You see, when you're over 30 and you're dating, you can't be telling them, oh, I met another guy. I met another. Oh, that Bob's son. Oh, I'm with Philip now. You can't be doing none of that. Do you understand? Okay? Stop talking when there's something to talk about. Do you understand? People, listen, for the most of my 30s, I was just dating. Nobody knew who I was dating. I'm sure some people thought I was even a lesbian at some point.
Oh, my God.
Do you understand? Because they weren't seeing me with guys. And it's the same thing if you're a single person, if you're a single mom. Do you understand? And I think this is also because single moms also, or single dads also date.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The rules, you've got to be, you're thinking also about your child. Not necessarily, someone that will take the place of a mom or a dad. That's not what you're looking for. Do you understand? But you can't be bringing no cray-cray around your kids. Do you understand? So you've got to make sure you think about who this person is, where they're going to fit in, whether they even like kids. Do you understand? Or whatever. And when I say like kids, I'm not saying that, they're a nursery school teacher and all that kind of like thing. Not going to be to that level. That they don't dislike kids. There are people who actually dislike kids.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you understand?
You're right.
But the guys are so, or female, their mind is so clouded with they don't want to see that. They keep thinking, they keep trying to change situation, or maybe it will be different. But Don't get me wrong. We all improve. We all upgrade each other when we get together. But there are things. Don't go in there thinking you're going to change people.
Okay.
There are things you can't change.
I just had
You
this,
understand?
I just had this quick question drop into my mind
Mm-hmm.
around the dating scene again. So we mentioned single mothers. I'm focused on single mothers now, and single ladies. Should there be different levels of compromise in relation to having a relationship?
What do you mean compromise?
Yeah, this is where I'm going. So a baby mother and a single lady compromise in such that accepting certain things you probably wouldn't have accepted, but because you feel that you need to be with someone, you just
because you're a single mom. Yes.
Yeah, because
you have to compromise. Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. So let's be very, very clear. Okay, being a single mother is not a disability. Okay, it's not a disability. Okay, the key word there is that you're a mother. It's a gift. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's a grace that so many people wish they have or can have. Do you understand? So it's a gift, being a mom, being able to even have a legacy like that. Okay? You don't need to, if anything, you have an extra barrier you need to put in place, not take away. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you have an extra. You definitely can't be having free sex anyhow. Because what? You're trying to have another child without any commitment. I would expect a single mom to be thinking in her mind commitment. I don't know any single mom who dates just for fun. Do you understand? Not unless they're at that period where they're trying to get over a bad situation. You know, they're trying to get over a bad situation. Not unless they're in that part. But aside from that, I don't expect, if anything, you put an extra barrier in place. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Which is when they meet your kids. When they meet your kids is, you know, and all those kind of stuff. You know, you don't just walk because you've got a child. That means having a child, being a single mom doesn't mean you're loose. You didn't get that child from sleeping around or from doing whatever. So don't make anyone make you feel anything. Whoever doesn't like it, you're gone. I told you when I was abstaining, I never got dumped more times. I got dumped more times when I was abstaining than any other time. Do you know what it is for a guy to stand in your face and dump you because you want to have sex? And they're standing there telling you, well, you're not a virgin anyway. I'm like, to you, I will always be a virgin.
Of course.
Because you ain't getting none of this, man.
Of course.
Do you understand?
Of course.
You know? So, and I felt so good. I felt like I achieved something.
Because you're in control.
I felt so good.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, come on, next one. By the time the next one was shifting, didn't know how to tell me that he wanted out. Listen, I'd be like, it's all right, darling. See, I still see them now. We're cool.
Amazing.
We're cool.
Amazing.
Okay. You understand? They're not horrible guys. It's just that they were clear on what they wanted. Somebody they will have sex with. And unfortunately, they came with the mindset that because I'm over 35,
it must be
it's
easy.
open season. It was open season. Nah, mate. No. Do you understand? My bones ain't what they used to be. If I'm going to do the acrobat somersault, it has to be a guy that's ready to really commit to me, to be in my life like that. If I'm going to be doing all them, you know, acrobat somersault in beds and all of them kind of things, no. It's a different ball game when you're in your 30s.
It is a different ball game. Okay, the phone lines are open. It's 074 956 36899. That's 074 956 36899. I want to say thank you to everyone who's sending in questions. We will get to them towards the end of the show. So you can call us live, direct into the studio as well, and have your own, you know, share your own opinion on the matters we're discussing today. Don't be shy. Asia E. Jones is here to talk, not to bite. But I don't know. Maybe she might bite if you ask. I don't know. So anyway.
I don't bite.
She doesn't bite, she says. She doesn't bite. Okay, so another
but
question.
I talk some real talk.
Yeah, you're right. Another question I always ask is about, you know, when you go on a date and, you know, maybe it's the first date and, you know, you go to this fancy restaurant and the bill comes. You know, does it mean that the man has to pay, or do you have to, like, go halves? Because the rule, you know, that this imaginary rule book that says when you take a lady out, you have to pay. Should I be broken as well?
Okay. When I was dating before, in my 30s, in my early 30s, there was a guy that I dated. It's funny, all my exes are good friends of mine. He's a guy that I dated. And I remember when we broke up and we were talking, we'd have conversations, and said, he said to me, one of the things that he didn't like that I used to do was I was always quick to whip out my card.
Oh.
He didn't like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he said I was always quick. I didn't even notice I was doing that. Do you understand? I didn't even notice that. I wasn't trying to make a point, or I wasn't trying to be whatever. Do you understand? My sister, I remember when she went on her first date with her husband, she went Dutch. Do you understand? So it was split down the line. Not because the guy wanted it, but that's how she is. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then she feels like, and I think it's that sense of, if you haven't done anything, then you don't feel like, if the guy hasn't done certain things, he doesn't get to feel that, he's taking me out and he's paid and all this kind of stuff. Do you understand? So there's no obligation. But for me, I'm an old-fashioned kind of gal, okay?
Mm.
If you're taking me out on the first day, you're paying, darling.
Oh my gosh!
I'm old-fashioned.
So we're not breaking that rule. That rule stays. The man must pay.
It's not even. I think it's not even a rule. I think it goes back to what I said. First of all, I would not step out. And don't ask me how do I know. I don't know. But all I know is the kind of guys I date. When I go out, they're more likely to be offended that I'm trying to bring out, I'm trying to pay. They will just be thinking, where's that coming from?
Yeah,
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
They're that kind of, they tend to be old-fashioned kind of, they tend to be guys that because I'm an alpha female, and so they don't, so it's very important for them that they own their own. So they're usually that kind of guy, okay? If you're going out with a guy who, when the bill comes, he's forgotten his card or whatever, one thing I will say is I never go on a date. This is why I say don't go with a guy to a place where you can't afford to carry the bill. Anything can happen.
Yes.
Do you understand? That's why if you're saying he's taking me to the IV, make sure you've got IV money in your pocket.
Vex money, just in case.
Do you understand? Make sure you got that money in your pocket. So it's not that you will necessarily whip it out and pay for stuff, but it's just that anything could happen. What if he then turns out he doesn't have his wallet? You both have eaten and belly full well. Then what? What's going to happen then? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone's going to pick up the bill, or someone's going to go in the kitchen and do some work. So I would say, so I never go somewhere that I know that, that's why I never go out. I don't like going out without money in my pocket. I don't go out without money in my pocket. I don't, I don't do that. If I'm going somewhere, listen, I make sure my Uber debit card is charged up in case I need to leave.
Just in case.
In case something needs to happen, yeah. So I'm well backed up,
Okay.
in that way.
Okay.
So that's what I would say. So, yeah. So I wouldn't say, for me, it's up to you. If both of you go out on a date and look, you might be going out on a date with a guy, and I hope, guys, don't take a girl somewhere that you can't afford to carry the whole bill. Do you understand? Don't take a girl where you can't afford to carry the whole bill. Do you understand? And don't do that arrogant thing where she's the one who wanted to come here, so, I expect her to take it out. No, that's not gentlemanlike. You still have to, there's still that thing of, that's not gentlemanlike. So don't go somewhere where you can't afford. She might want the ID. If you can't afford it, don't take her there.
Okay.
If she doesn't see you again, that's not a girl for you.
Okay, quick one, yeah. Someone, a listener, Queen Selena, just sent in a quick comment. I want to know your thoughts on this one. So she says, if a guy cannot invest in you out of choice or ability, he will never feel he can keep you.
If the guy cannot invest in you.
Yes. Or
is that a question? Is that?
I think it was more like a statement that, in line with what we're saying. If a guy cannot invest in you, out of choice or ability, he will never feel he can keep you. So I think what she's trying to say
what's that investment? That's the question I'll ask you. Because I
actually like the word she used in that investment, because that is another issue within the dating scene. Because I think a lot of females, mostly females, I don't know. I'm saying this because I think females have this thought that I am gonna, engage with someone. He must have the financial backing to.
But here's the thing.
To grow my.
You know what I mean? Let me. All right. Okay. Let me come in there for a second. Sorry. Let me come in there for a second. You see, when we use the word invest, most people right now are thinking financial, right?
But it could be something else.
Again, but what I'm saying, it goes back to, look, the bottom line is what you're looking for. When I met the person I call my husband now, okay, before him, so many guys came. Do you understand? There was nothing they could buy me. I bought myself everything. So anything they bought me was, okay, it was nice. Do you understand? Anything they gave me was okay. Do you understand? But there was nothing I needed from them. What I was looking for was that investment where you call peace and love. That's what all of them were not able to give me. And that was the one thing my husband gave me. Okay? That was the one thing that didn't cost money. All I dated doctors. Who didn't I date? Do you understand what I mean? So when she's talking about investment, I hope she's not just talking financial. Okay? Because again, because that's where our mind goes. You know, think about what you are looking for. What is it that you want? Do you understand? What is it that you're looking for? Because if you're talking about that investing you with money, yeah, you can invest in you with money. The money could run out. Then what? What have you got? What have you got? I'm not saying it's one or the other. It can be money, love, this. You can determine what order in which you want those things. You can. It could be your faith. It could be whatever. Do you understand? You can determine how you want those things. But you've got to think about what you want. And I'm sorry to say, if you base everything around financial, you'll be disappointed. You'll be disappointed at some point, even if the money never runs out. Because you're going to get to a point where that's just not going to be enough. By the time he gave you everything, that's just not going to be enough. And then what are you going to do?
And what are you going to do?
You're going to start looking for, you're going to start looking for him to invest in love for you then? Or you're going to look for another guy to do it for you then?
You know, I think
whatever you go into the relationship with, do you understand, will determine how long that relationship. So if you go with somebody because of money, when the money runs out, so will that relationship. If you go into a relationship because of kids, when the kids are grown and all that, when all that is done, or when the kids don't come into that relationship, but sayonara to that relationship. So it's whatever.
Okay. She sent another comment again. Controversy. I don't know. I wanted to say again. She's saying that alpha females must date up. Now, never down.
They must date what?
Alpha females must date up, never down. Date higher than them. Okay. I'm gonna come back to that. She says she will thrive with a man that will boss her up. So now.
I didn't hear that last bit. She will do what with a man that does what?
She will thrive with a man that will boss her up, meaning that will elevate her. I think that's what she meant by that. So are we now going into the dating scene with a perception of always looking for a man that can have some financial backing before we actually even get to know an individual?
Let's be real. Okay, Double Nine, let's just be real.
I have to be controversial.
Yeah?
I have to be controversial on this one.
Yeah. Let's be real on something, yeah? Don't think there's anybody going into the dating scene not thinking about what they want. Whether it's something deep and meaningful or superficial, we all have an expectation. We all have something, an idea of what we want. Only a fool doesn't have an idea of what they want when they're dating. Because then it's open season to anything. Do you understand? So we all have an idea. We might not speak it out, but we know, or at the very least, we know what we don't want. Okay? Now, to the comments of what that lady said, yes, I don't know, when you say dating up, again, we all have different interpretation of what we mean by whatever. But I feel that when you're dating, yes, you need to date somebody. You can't be unequally yoked. Do you understand? You have to be able to balance each other. There has to be a balance. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't be, if you're a woman, you can't be dating a waste man and all that. But I'm not even talking, I'm talking from a point of view that when you're in your 30s, going into your 40s
100%.
and all of that,
Yeah.
You have a good idea of what rubbish looks like.
Yeah.
Do you understand? At least for you. Maybe not for the rest of the world. You have an idea. So this is not about whether you're an alpha female or you're whatever. This is about you have a better understanding of what's working and what's not. What you now need to do is, what do I need to do differently? Or what do I need to do to change this or whatever? In terms of the guys that, the guys you go out today, for me, I knew what I wasn't going to do. I knew what I wasn't going to accept. I got tired of, when you break up, when the relationship ends, that down period, that horrible, I didn't even want all of that. I wanted to know how to manage that better. Do you understand? And being somebody who was growing more in my faith, that helped me a lot. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I can't be in the world and still breaking up while I'm a Christian, breaking up with a guy in the same way I was in the world. The way you do things is a little bit different. That's how I feel. So for you, you can be Muslim, you can be whatever. Do you understand? The way you break up when you're in your 20s and it's a bit different.
It is.
So all I'm saying is, forget whether you're alpha female, forget all them things there. If whatever it is that you want, okay, you have an idea of what it is. It's only a fool of a woman at the age of 35 that's not learning from a past mistake. If you're a woman in your 35 and all the guys you've met, you slept with them on the first day, and you think you would leave this one, you sleep with him on the first day, and think about what you're doing. If it didn't work then, it ain't going to work now. You understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Because the fact of the matter is, whether you like it or not, men judge us by when and how we sleep with them. They do.
Okay. Very, very good. Very good. I love the responses you're giving. Now, it takes me to another of the questions I always ask about, honesty. Like, how much honesty is required in a relationship or during dating. Now, let me ask you a question. So, going from the comments we got from Messalina just a minute ago, saying that you have to date up, not down. So men sometimes can be quite intelligent to understand, okay, when I want to approach a certain lady, because she already has this thought process in her head that, she wants to date up, I can create a persona. I can create a facade to ensure that she thinks I am that person that she wants to date. And this is what this kind of mental thought process would happen. Saying you go in there thinking, okay, I'm only dating guys that are financially stable. They must have money. They must have this. Is that not clouding the process of you getting to know that person because you already have a perception of that individual?
Yeah. Okay. So I agree with that. So like I said, I've said two things. I think going to date someone and having money as the goal is a mistake. I think that's my personal opinion.
Okay.
Okay. But that doesn't mean it's not going to stop people from. There are people who do it. They get married. The man is they're with the guy. The guy is seeing so many other people, but financially he takes care of it, and they're good with that.
Okay.
Who are you to say that's wrong? Who am I to say that's wrong to them?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you?
Okay. Now
do you understand? So there's that point. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now also I think you have to say what you want. There are guys who are only interested in women that can have kids.
Fantastic.
So when they're dating, they're saying things like they want to have sex with you to see whether you can get pregnant. There are guys who do it. Do you understand? Do you, but you ain't going to be doing it with me, though.
Okay.
Now, as a woman have to decide, am I that woman that he's going to come to and be like that?
Okay. So bringing me back here again. So how much honesty do you think is actually, needed when you're dating someone? Do you go in full force and say, you know what, Lady A, this is me, Mr. A, this is me,
No. You can't do that about everything. So as I'm talking now, we're talking because we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
If I was there, I'm not going to just throw everything down like that. Like I'll give you an example. My The man that's my husband, I always like saying that the man that's my husband right now.
The man that's your husband right now.
Shout out to my husband. You know I love you, man. You know, so when he did that, I think we were dating. When we were dating, we were seeing each other regularly. You know, we were seeing each other regularly. So it wasn't like we were like in a week, we were seeing each other multiple times. You know, so because of how often the frequency of how we were seeing each other, I had to let him understand that I was abstaining.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because, and how long I'd been abstaining for at that point. Okay? I had to let him know, because otherwise he's going to be weird, because he's leaving now and I'm like, I'm doing cheek to cheek touching. I'm not giving him a kiss. I'm not, do you understand what I mean? I'm being very careful, and I'm somebody, I love PDA. You know, I love all of that. Yeah. But I'm being very mindful of the fact that I don't want to do any. Some guys get turned on by you just kissing them on the lips. By you just puckering up your lips. Do you understand? So you have a responsibility when you're abstaining on how you carry yourself, how you dress, do you understand? Because you're abstaining. And that person might not be. The person you're dating might not be. So they don't understand the rules of abstinence. Do you understand? Yeah. So I had the conversation very quickly with my now husband about the fact that I was abstaining, only because we were seeing each other quite frequently. Okay? Yeah. A lot of honesty, like I said, we went into counseling, relationship counseling from the beginning. So a lot of stuff came up through that. There was no 6-month honeymoon period. There was none of that. We didn't have none of that. I want to know your mess. I want to show you my mess. So counseling allowed us a safe place to get that out. Do you understand? So that's the angle that I did. That's how we did it. So there was no judgment on some things. You know, we wanted to know, because we were talking about marriage. Again, we're not talking about marriage. We knew each other wanted to get married. Now we were trying to figure out whether we want to marry each other. Okay? Yeah. That's what we were trying to figure out through counseling. So I want to know what's going on, because I don't want no mother-in-law that's going to come and strangle my neck. You understand? I want to know what's going on with your family. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. I want to know what kind of family you is, how deep does witchcraft go. I want to know. I want to know any blood ties, them things there. I want to know all of that. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And if there's anything we need to break before we start tying up. Do you understand? I want to know all of that. And I want you to know about my family.
Do you know what? I mean, the way you break it down, you know, it's quite amazing. If a lot of people adopt it this way, I think maybe a lot of, because I mean, I've had this conversation with people in the past, and I kind of subscribe to the way you're describing what to do, get to know each other, you know, all the way down to the parent side and your side as well, because there's nothing hidden. It cannot help. Yeah. It will probably reduce the amount of separations and divorce that we see out there at present, because the dating...
Yeah, because we hide too much. We hide too much. Particularly about... Listen, if you've got someone in your family that's cray-cray that you're gonna... Maybe you don't bring it out on the first date. Do you understand? But if you know, look, I really like this guy. We're speaking the same language. How about we approach it with the help of a third party? I'm not talking about... We had independent counseling. This was no friend, no family member situation. It wasn't like that. Do you understand? So, you know, how about you take that approach? Because I'll tell you another thing that made me do that. I learned a lot. Let me tell you, I learned a lot from all my friends who got married. The ones who are in a marriage there's a little bit unhappy. They're just, you know, they're just going through it. The ones who are really happy. The ones who were not really happy but now are really happy. I learned a lot from them. You understand? I remember when my older sister got married, yeah? My parents are not together, yeah? And at that time, after years, you know, being married for so many years, they separated. Now, that was something that was still kind of like a stigma where we come from. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. It's like people, when you're marrying someone, they don't really want to know that your parents are separated. Africans, Nigerians specifically. You understand? Yoruba is so judgmental. You understand? Shout out to all the Yorubas out there. Shout out to all the Yoruba people. So, it was Asia E that said it that way. But anyway, carry on, Asia E. Yeah. So, and I remember that my sister, when my sister got married, my parents' marriage at that time was rocky. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And we were doing, so come and see the patch-up work we were doing so that in-laws didn't know, just to get over that also, so they didn't know that they weren't getting on. Do you understand? Because they were going through it. It was a hard time. You know, so fast forward now, when I got married, no, I let people know. My parents ain't together. Most days they don't even get along. Okay? Do you understand? Yeah. Today they might be friends. Tomorrow they might not be friends. And yeah. Do you understand? In fact, I'm more nervous when they get on. Because I'm like, God, how long is this going to last? You know? So we are able to have an open on. That's my family. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Whoever wants to judge, accept it or not, yeah. Do you understand what I mean? So we didn't let, well, what I love about my parents is they're living their best lives right now.
Amazing.
At peace. The next last few years of their life, enjoying it in peace.
Very important.
And happy.
Very important.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
They don't have to be with each other for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right.
So, so I took a different approach. Everybody knew, my in-laws knew that, listen, my parents are not together. Yeah. You know, some days are tricky. You know, yeah. They might get on the mind not.
Exactly. I mean, before we go into the questions that have come in, I mean, there's this one thing that I think is very important when an individual is dating. You know, sometimes we do err on the side of caution where maybe a trust issue occurs, or maybe trust is broken during that dating time. Does that mean, because that trust had been broken, does that mean that relationship should be abandoned and moved on to the next one? Or does it depend on the degree?
No.
Okay.
No, it depends on a lot of things. And I'll be honest, I'll say this, okay? Ladies, you might not know this. And guys, if you agree with me, please call in and say, yes, I agree with Asia's point.
Guys never
there are people,
they're always shy.
I hope they will. There are guys, and again, I'm not saying this to say if a guy cheats is okay or whatever. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm going to say guy because I'm a woman, so let me talk from that perspective. There are guys that they don't consider anything before marriage cheating. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. There are guys out there that anything before marriage is not considered cheating. That's the truth. Okay? Now, this is just me putting it out there, what I know to be, like, true in some situations. Okay? That's one. That said, okay, if you dealt with infidelity or whatever in your relationship, whether it's a guy or a girl or whatever, okay, I would say there's a lot of things to consider. First of all, is this guy a player? Was he ever just committed to you? Because there's some girls that just say, he said on me, he did this. But really, the guy was never committed to just you, and you knew that. So is that cheating? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's only you that knows what's in your relationship and what you lot are doing. Do you understand? It's only you. You're the only one who knows that. So I think each situation has to be assessed on its own merit. Each guy has to be assessed on his own merit. Okay? So you can't judge this guy by what your last two boyfriends did or your last two girlfriends did. Oh, black girls can't be trusted or white girls can't be trusted. No. Ain't got nothing to do with that.
Amazing.
Do you understand?
Amazing.
Maybe you just like girls that don't like to be with just one man. Or you like men that don't like to be with one woman. And so maybe you need to change. Because if you've been cheated on like 10 times, whatever, you're the common denominator in that. So maybe you need to change something.
Fantastic. I mean, we just had a quick question. I think if we just go into questions because of time. Femi sent a question, and Femi's from Hendon, who says, I think women are better players. But in your words,
of course we are. Yes, of course. Women are better players.
Asia was quick on that one. She was quick on that one.
Yeah, man.
To say yes.
Listen, you men don't even know how to play. Listen, I'm not going to say too much because I can't break the girl code.
Oh, my
you understand?
God.
You know? So, yeah, I'm not going to say too much. But I will say this. You guys ain't even begun or begin to play. Do you understand? You can't play like us women can play. shout out to my husband. That was my whole life. That's not to say. My husband would be like, what's she chatting? What's she going on about? So, yeah, of course, yeah. Women are better players. Better players. We're slicker, you know, we do it with finesse, you know, we're more sexy with it. You know, even when we're having a go at you for playing, we're playing too. You understand? I'm not saying all women are like that. Same way I'm not saying all men cheat. You understand?
Yeah.
But men always think they write the rules and the books for it. But it ain't like that. The only difference is women don't get caught like that. You guys get caught too much. That's why you won't think a woman. Women, we don't get caught like that. I use the word we because I'm a woman, not because I'm out there, right?
No, because she's out there. Asia E. Jones is fully dedicated.
Always with an E.
You know, she's fully dedicated. Okay, so you say women are better players. Femi says, okay, how do you tell who a player is?
How can you tell?
Yeah.
Now, Femi, if I tell you, I'm gonna have to kill you.
Oh no, Femi.
Okay.
I'm sure you don't want to know the answer now. But good try.
No, but what I will say, Femi, is, honestly, the reason why women don't have that reputation is because we understand the secrecy around that sort of thing and why it needs to be like that. So that's why we're always a bit thingy about that. But I can't let them rules there.
Sorry, mate.
I can't say
Try
one.
again next time. Okay, I think I'll take this question from Laura in Kensington. Laura says, I'm a single mom, but I found it difficult to find responsible guys. What am I doing wrong?
Okay. So, all right. So I guess sometimes it's timing, Laura. It's not necessarily that you're doing something wrong. You know, sometimes it's timing. You know, sometimes it's that, like I said, don't be out there like you're looking. Usually when you're looking is when you don't find or you find rubbish. You understand? Focus on being out there dating and enjoying yourself. And when I say dating, just going out, socializing, and all that kind of stuff. Situations will find you where you least expect. Okay, that's another thing. Be and do it with an open mind. You understand? Don't do it like, oh, only black, only white, only whatever, only some guy in North London, or I don't date people from fast. I don't. You understand what I mean? Be open. Be open-minded. And when I say be open, I'm not saying any Tom, Dick, and Jack down the road. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying,
it's not open season.
Yeah, exactly. Don't just give room for anything. Do you understand? I think that's one thing. So it might not be something you're doing. So please don't put that in your mind that it's necessarily you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's timing. COVID ain't helping. You understand?
Yeah.
I'll say that. Also, you know, are you dating guys that are generally not interested in women who have children? That's another thing you need to think about.
Yeah.
You know, the maturity of the guys. So you need to put some thought into the guys you're dating. Do you understand? Are you focusing on the wrong things? Do you understand? Are you focusing on guys who are still out there trying to, do you understand what I mean? Have you thought about maybe dating single dads? You know, have you met any of these people like single dads? You know, have you thought about, do you understand, would you be open to that? Because sometimes you see women who are like, they're single moms, but they don't want to date a man with kids. What kind of madness is that? Yeah. You understand? You've got to be open.
You got to be open. Okay, another question from Grace in Erith. Grace says, I am dating a younger person, but I am...
Go, girl!
Oh, my God! You know, I'm dating a younger person, but...
Yes.
But she says, but I feel a bit old sometimes. I don't know. I think that's what she meant.
Really?
Maybe because
girl,
comments
you're my
from
kind
my
of
friends
person.
or something. Possibly.
Okay, let me tell you this. So let me give you. So my husband is 10 years younger than me.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So you're speaking. So this is right off my street. I've always dated guys who were younger than me. You know, I've never really looked my age and doesn't help me. So yeah. So sorry, I'm feeling myself right now. So I've always dated younger men because they're the ones who approach me. I don't even go for them. They're the ones who approach me because they're thinking I'm their age. And the next thing is that, I guess my question to you is, why are you so focused on age? Because I've never really focused on age. I never think about that unless we're having conversations like this. I never think about age difference between me and my husband. I never do. It doesn't, do you understand? It doesn't think it, because listen, younger guys are all right, you know, they got the agile, the energetic, what?
Oh,
We
right.
talking about.
All right, then.
They
All
should
right.
bring out the youth in you.
Grace. All right, Grace, you heard it there. You know, don't feel somehow. Enjoy while you're, you know, doing your thing. Anyway, so I think I'll take the last question because of time. Kate from West Ham. I think this is the one. This is a good one to end the show with. Kate says, how do you decide it's the right time to get down?
To get down. Get down as in,
Yeah,
what, on one
get it-
knee, or get down
Get a nookie
on
nookie.
sex?
Yeah.
Oh, this is coming from a guy?
No. I think, is it Kerry? Kerry, no. There's a female.
Kerry, sorry. How do you know it's a good time to get down
Yeah.
with the guy? I think, see, when it comes to when you have sex, I don't like telling women who have sex very quickly to follow their instincts, because the instinct will always tell them now is a good time. Yes,
Okay.
do it now. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I would say don't go with your instinct. If you know you're quick in bed to jump in the bed, no, don't follow your instinct. Okay? I will definitely, again, I don't want to say it like this, but there's something to that 90-day rule. Do you understand? You know, there's something to that 3-month rule where I don't want to use the word 3-month rule, but I would give it, if you give it that little bit of time. For me, as a Christian, if you're dating for marriage, then no. Until there's a commitment in place, no, don't have sex with him. That's what I would say. Do you understand? I wouldn't do it. You know, because you're looking for, do you understand? You're looking for a commitment. So spend the time when you're not having sex to get to know each other in the organic sense. Do you understand? Because what's good about that is that there's no make-up sex. So you have to find a way when you have an argument to make up.
Word.
Do you understand? You have to find a very natural way to make up with each other, because make-up sex stops us from communicating. When you're abstaining, your communication is better because all you have is communication. You have to talk about your feelings. You have to talk about everything. I'm telling you, abstaining is not joking. Huh? You know, you have to it teaches you how to talk to each other and speak your feelings. You know, so I would say if you have sex, so just to summarize, I would say if you're somebody that has sex very quickly, then don't go with your instincts. And but if you know you want a commitment, like something like marriage, don't have sex with a guy. Don't have sex with a guy.
Wow.
Go straight for
Wow.
Don't have sex with a guy.
Amazing.
Do you understand? Just spend that time focusing on getting and don't be trying to dodge the thing. Let him know when you're dating at a point. It's almost like, at what point do you, in every relationship comes a point where you tell, if you have kids, it comes a point where you tell the person you've got a child. If you've been married and divorced before, there's a certain point you will come. You determine when that point is. If you used to be a man and you're now a woman, it comes a point in the relationship where you say, oh, I had a sex change. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything, we all have something about us that we have to reveal in our relationship.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, even if it's that, oh, I'm abstaining. You understand? Like I said, mine was based on the frequency. I was seeing my husband a lot. So I needed to speak because otherwise now I was starting to look a bit weird. Do you understand? You know, that awkwardness at the end of the night. But he didn't know. The signals he's getting from me was funny. The minute I told him, he was like, oh, that's quite sweet. And he liked it and he helped me with that journey. Do you understand? So after that, it became less awkward staying by at the end of the night because he knew why I wasn't doing the whole kissing and the whole whatever. Do you understand?
Communication. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Asia E. Jones. It's been amazing. It's been great. I mean, just to do a quick recap.
It's been great.
You know, we've broken a lot of rules today. You know, I hope you learnt from our fantastic co-host today. She's been amazing. I'm sure you'll be hearing more from her on Dominar Radio. I mean, you know, she says abstaining from sex. She's done it for 8 years. I think that's amazing. That deserves an award. You know, for 8 years, no nookie nookie That is quite an amazing feat in there. And also stay in control. Make sure you're in control of that environment, of the situation, so your abstinence will remain intact. And stop clock watching. Let the process happen. Clock watching just allows you to jump into situations where you rather not be in as well. Stop thinking, oh, you should have gone down on one knee by now. It should have given you engagement ring by now. Let the process happen so you totally understand who this person is as well. Also, communicate what you feel. Communication is very important. Stop dropping hints. Stop saying your ex did that, your ex did this, when you actually did know your ex never actually did that. You're just trying to put it out there as well. And most importantly, do you. A lot of people are going to have a lot of advice. A lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions about how you should run your life or whether the guy is good for you or not. But you know deep well what is good for you. So do you, keep your head on and do you. And also, don't share everything. Everything is, it's not public announcement. It's a relationship. It's not a public relationship as well. So, those are the rules were broken today. Maybe there must be some other rules, that you are following that might not be in line or helpful to your dating process or finding that fantastic match you're looking for. I want to say, Asia E. Jones, it's been amazing. It's been great to have you on the show. I can't wait to have you back on the show at some point as well.
Yes. And people can always, if you, especially the ladies, we have to support each other. I'm always on Instagram, Asia E. Jones.
Yes.
Catch me if you want. And absolutely.
Listen, mate, get on Instagram after the show and search for Asia E. Jones and start following her. Men, women, start following her right away. She's got an amazing, great videos on her Instagram. I was blown away when I first saw him. And she got great tips as well. But you'll be able to catch up back on Dominant Radio in the future as well. Asia E. Jones, before you go, do you want to say any final words to our listeners?
Yes, I just want to say to the beautiful people of Double Nine Radio that are locked in, peace and love to you. I wish you all well for Christmas. I wish you great things as you go. Enjoy your dating life. Kings, you are kings. You are out there. You understand? That queen you're looking for is out there. She will come, okay? Just be true to yourself. Don't try and be something you're not, okay? Don't worry about, and that female for you that will accept you the way you are is out there, okay? So you beautiful, wonderful kings, do you. And to my lovely queens, listen, okay? You make your rules, okay? You stick to them. You stick to your rules, all right? If it wasn't working before, change it. Okay, change it.
Break the rules. Don't
live your life by other people's rules, okay, or tradition or culture. Do you, okay? If your faith believes in somebody, hold on to your faith. Your faith works for you when you hold on to it. But to that end, I just say, I love you all. Have a great Christmas, a wonderful New Year, and I will see you all at the top.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our fantastic co-host today, Asia E. Jones. What an amazing personality. I really enjoyed the show with her today. But stay locked on, stay locked in. Going to be giving you some vibes this evening to keep you warm in this cold weather we find ourselves in the UK.